Catus Maximus here. Not a lot of people doing drum brakes, or at least not as much as they used to, but I ran into this Calvan drum brake spring tool, or spring pliers, and these are truly heavy duty. They're quite a bit nicer than the Astro Pneumatic set, and that's kind of the big deal. Nice heavy duty bolt with a stop nut so that you can adjust it if it gets a little bit loose. Calvan, it is made in the United States. What is nice is that these jaws do come together at the same point instead of the upper jaw being short, which has always been kind of annoying. Really pretty thick steel on these, and the handles don't come together. They actually stay a little bit separated and surprisingly stiff. So definitely pretty heavy duty. Even this little bent hook portion down here, quite a bit of material there, and they are proper pliers because they have the spring removal tool. The spring kind of wraps around the end of the post, so you just put this on the post and you rotate this around to lift the end of the spring off and pop it off. This is the spring reinstallation tool. This has like a little notch and a half moon, so you can hook the spring on it, hook it onto the end of the post and lift it up and slide the spring down. So I really do appreciate that. I will say that they aren't perfect, but as far as integrated set of pliers, they are pretty good. I do have this Mac Tools spring tool, and I like it just a little bit better. We can see in the Calvan that this piece is separate and press fit, which is just fine, but I think the Mac Tools one is a little bit better just because you can see that there's this nice little lead in, a nice little chamfer to help walk the spring off where this is straight. So I think they could have improved that a little bit. And then also on the Mac Tools one, the little half moon area where you reinstall the spring is also a bit thinner, so you just get a little bit less spring stretch when you're installing it versus this Calvan one. Although in some situations, like on heavy duty truck drum brakes, this thicker one may actually be better because I do worry a little bit about how thin the end of this Mac was. But the Mac is generally well designed. If we're to compare this, a while ago I did talk about this Astro Pneumatic drum brake tool set, and they expect you to use, say, this special tool here as the reinstallation tool, which is a little bit strange. This is the tool that they have for removing the springs, and it's real similar to the Calvan, just a little notch there, although you can see that it's actually pretty thick, which I do appreciate. At least that one's pretty heavy duty. The big difference here is actually the pliers themselves. These Astro Pneumatic pliers are leave much to be desired. You can see compared to the Calvan, there's just much more cross section. You can see where the Calvan meets up, where these don't quite meet up, and I don't really particularly like that design. And then of course on these Astros, they don't include any of the options on the end of the pliers, which they really should have. And then also, if we just look at the thickness of the material, we can see that these Calvans are just a bit thicker. So in this situation, the Calvans are quite a bit nicer. So anyway, that was my little video about these Calvans. I do like how thick the handles are. They're definitely a much heavier duty set of pliers, and it certainly makes a difference because if you're dealing with larger drum brakes, those weaker pliers can barely do it. So it's really nice to have a set that's just really pretty strong and heavy duty, which means these are deflecting and bending much less, allowing you to manipulate the springs much more easily. And so just wanted to bring it to your attention. I believe they still sell them in the number 267s. Anyway, really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Till next time, Catus Maximus out.